Hello and good evening, everyone. Today I'm Lakshman joining from India, and again we have brought you an amazing masterclass today. This masterclass is brought to you by Recorem, and at Recorem, our vision is pretty simple. Our vision is to onboard millions of enthusiastic users to the Web3 revolution, and that is why today we have brought one of a kind of a masterclass series transitioning into Web3. The world is heading towards a more connected ecosystem, a more close knit environment. And as time passes, different industries are converging towards a similar concept of working together, collaboration. And that is where Web3 comes to the fore. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of decentralization, blockchain, and the secret sauce. And yes, this is the time now for every one of us from transition from Web 2 to Web 3. But before we get into what this masterclass is about today and what are we going to do today, okay, let me give you a sneak peek about what Recorem actually does. So as we know that Web 3 is a new internet concept, okay, and is for anyone and everyone who wishes to be a part of a transparent, efficient, yet autonomous ecosystem. This is where Recorem steps in and helps event attendees discover Web3 opportunities like jobs, internships in professional events like webinars, masterclasses like these, and conferences. Today, we have more than 70 plus companies from across the globe hiring for different positions at today's event. So, to keep it simple in one line, Recorem connects Web3 professionals to Web3 companies through Web3 events. Like I said, today we have more than 200 plus opportunities from across the globe in internships, job opportunities, full-time offers, remote opportunities available on today's event for you. Not only this, we have brought you NFT minted certificates which will help you keep a unique memory from today's learnings. So to get that NFT certificate and to apply for jobs, if you're streaming online from any other platform, let's take LinkedIn, YouTube, or even Twitter, hop onto the Recorem website, log in, and join the live event. Put in your wallet addresses in the discussion room and get a unique NFT minted for your own memory from today. Adding on to that, let's move on to calling our speaker today. Our speaker for today is a young mind. She started her journey in the space of computer science as she did her graduation in it. Moving ahead, she has worked with certain Indian startups in graphic designing and even branding. Moving ahead, currently she is a director of DevRel at Valist. You already know that we have had two great episodes with Zach and Alec from Valist, and today we have Vanshika, the DevRel from there. So let's welcome Vanshika on board and let's have a fireside chat with her. Vanshika, you're up on screen.
Hey everyone, excited to be here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Very excited.
Hi Vanshika, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Very excited to be here.
Very, very excited. I am very awesome to have you on board. I am very happy to host you today. How has your day been like?
It's been great again.
Okay.
Well, you just we are in the community, is talking to people, having coffee chats, and just getting to know people all around the world. So yeah, pretty awesome.
Okay. So okay, let's see. I already gave a brief background about what you have been doing. What are you doing? So why don't you tell us about your background, how you started your journey in Web3? Okay, and let's hear first about your storyline. Let's go with that.
Oh, definitely. So, hey everyone, again, I'm Manchika. I'm the director of DevRel at Valist. So, if I have to tell my story, I'll say I started coding around like in school, like how normally everyone does. We had subjects, and then I opted for computer science. basic stories over there, but I was always like a keen kid. I have like tried different technologies, AI, ML, full stack, backend, front end, everything. But recently, when Web3 was like at the high and everyone was talking about it, I got really curious. I learned about what's going on in Web3, what Web3 is, what NFTs are, because it was like all the hype at that time. And then I started learning about it, learning what smart contracts are, building Solidity code, writing dApps and everything. And that's how I got into Web3, understood how decentralization is so important, how distribution is so important. So basically, this all fascinated me so much that I was like, okay, I'm going all into Web3 now. And well, a little months of preparation, studying, learning, and I broke into Web3. I got an amazing DevRel job at Valist, and I love what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing. It's like you've just been following the path that has come to you, right? It's like a calling that you have been, walking towards. It's definitely great. But I'd like to keep, give emphasis on how you had a very technical background, okay, while you were
Yeah.
graduating in CSE,
Mm-hmm.
okay, right?
Yeah.
But you started working in a non-tech background with Indian startup, okay,
Yeah.
in branding and graphic design. So how did that plunge come? Like how a non-technical domain popped up and you started working in that despite having a technical background. So how did that happen?
Yeah. Well, this would actually come as like I've always been curious as like a creator to give provide value to people. And when you think of
Okay,
branding and graphic designing, it's like with from a company's point of view, you are just providing some value. Like when I was working in that company, it was something that I really liked what they were doing, and I wanted to put it out to people that hey, and in a fun way, not like in a boring way, but in a
okay,
fun way. So branding was definitely the way to it, and I love doing. I love designing also. I'm a website designer, developer, so that's like where the passion meets, I guess. And I was really like hoping that that would actually help me, construct like future ahead, what's like about to happen. To be honest, that really helped me how to deal with people, how to talk to people, because branding is all about understanding what users want, what customers want, what community wants.
right.
So definitely,
So
that's how.
right. Like that's definitely like understanding your customer is something which is very important and which 99% of people fail to understand who is their actual customer.
Mhm.
Correct. Because if you assuming, let's say you are a toothpaste brand, okay, for children, okay,
Yeah,
but children are from the age 1 and they go up to the age 14, right?
yeah,
So which market are you catering to? That also is very important. So understanding your customer is definitely very important for everyone. That is what I definitely agree to you about, and that is where lab branding comes in. But as much as I have understood, okay, you definitely have a technical background as well. Plus, you love to, basically let's take design websites and even do community building, right? That is
yeah,
where somewhere I feel you landed at a position of a DevRel, correct? People might not know what is the full form of DevRel because it's a new term, it's a new terminology. Maybe it has been around for a while, but not everyone knows about it. Right.
yeah.
So could you tell everyone like what is a DevRel first, okay, or who is a DevRel first, okay? Possibly then who can become a DevRel, like what are the backgrounds, what do you need and all, and what does a DevRel actually do? Okay, let's go with these.
Okay, definitely. So when we talk about developer relations is actually like an umbrella term, which have different positions under it. So we cannot say I am a DevRel. That's like have become the common notion these days, like saying you are a DevRel and kind of stuff. But to be honest, DevRel is an umbrella term, as I said, and under that we have developer advocates, we have technical writers, we have community managers, and all these kind of people who are basically helping bridging the gap between developers and the community, like the people the protocol that caters to that community, right? So
Okay.
if I'm someone who is building a product, like a technical product, right, and I want it like for the developers to use it, just releasing the product won't help anyone. Like they would not understand what's going on. So we need technical writers who can write docs over there. We need developer advocates who can communicate through YouTube videos or, on Twitter or someone, and help everyone. Like if someone gets stuck, with the protocol, like what's going on, we don't understand. So that's how developer advocacy, technical writing, community managers, and everyone comes in under this developer relations term, believe. Yeah.
Okay, and how can one become a developer?
Well, many people think that developer relation is a very technical job that you need to understand the coding and everything behind it. But I really don't think that you should know that much, like advanced level of coding. You should have basic idea of what's going on and what's not going on, a basic idea of what the protocol does and not does. And that's it. And then you just learn on the way, like what's going on. And it's this position, to be honest, is like the best if you're someone who's open to learn, open to try new things. So it's like when I am working right now, I've been trying Unity, which I never even thought that I will try Unity right now. But I'm trying. It's like
Okay.
amazing thing. You can learn on the go, on the process. So it's that kind of thing. You don't actually have to have a very, very technical background. If you're someone who loves talking to people, if you're someone who loves community and loves helping people, you are fit for the job. Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, that sounds pretty awesome. So to keep it simple, it's just a what can I say? It's a what can I say? Developer lingual,
Yeah,
right? It's basically like when we call a sentence in a coding language a string,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it is as simple as calling marketers. Like I'll not say marketers. Basically, it's a part of it
Mhm.
basically, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a lingual term in developer language. That's what I
yeah,
mean. Correct?
yeah,
So it's as
exactly.
simple as a person who wants to become a community manager, but can also understand code and help the team in developing.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well,
Okay.
basically, at the crux of it, you should be one who wants to help people. So yeah, that's like the first thing that you should be. You should be like helping.
No, definite. Why
Yeah.
not? Like somewhere I believe, the whole Web3 environment is about collaborating and
Mm-hmm.
working together to build something good. And that's when, definitely this whole DevRel concept, it's an ideology where I feel, where which people can follow, okay,
Yeah.
to build things. So definitely. So here's a follow-up question to that, right? Do you think the Web3 community is developer run, or like people who develop code or build code, is it run by them, or is it like, or is it an industry which is run by everyone? Because what I have felt when I have gone through different communities, they have met different people, everyone in the Web3 community certainly has a technical background. Certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? Like, is it a developer run community or developer run industry, or how does it work?
Well, I would say it's definitely not a developer-run community, but major person right now, since it's like still in the early level, not everyone understands what's going on. And it's like blockchain is a very high-level concept to understand, cryptography and all those
Okay.
kind of things. So we can say like at least 60%, 70% developers are there. But rest of it, like the 40 or 30, 50 or 30% kind of people, they are definitely not from a developer's background, because I feel even if you're a content creator in a Web3 community, you can understand. For example, the hacks that have been going on these days, right? It's a very common thing
Mm-hmm.
that have happened. And you don't actually have to be someone who is from a technical background to understand that. Because if you read news article, you can understand what was happening, right?
Right.
Maybe if you want to go inside like what's happening, just go to like the bottom of the problem and understand what like the details and everything, to just get all the details out. Then you'll have to have some technical options over there, like technical background over there. But if you need to understand, create content, become a creator in Web3 community, you definitely not no need to have such technical high level technical background. And Bankless HK is one of the best examples. Because we know that they are like from a very like less technical background, but they are like amazing
Okay.
in Web3 community. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that sounds pretty amazing. So, how does it feel like being a creator in, like Web3? What the like? Do you feel you're a creator in Web3?
Um, I feel I mean, creative in Web3, the creator term has been like tossed around a lot. These days, there are different kind of creator. I just feel creator right now in Web3 is anyone who is providing value, who is helping the beginners understand what's going on in the Web3 community. Because this Web3, the whole realm of Web3 has escalated so quickly. I remember
Right,
like, last year when I was starting, everyone was just discussing what NFTs are, what WAGMI was, what like the terms are, DeFi is. That's it. Right now, everyone is like so high level. It has escalated so much in 1 year that everyone is talking about the hacks that are going on. How should we make it more secure and this and that. So it's like very escalated rapidly. So right now, any creator who is helping beginners to get on board easily and making them understand what's going on really easily is a creator. And I feel that I am one of that because I put out content that's like easy for beginners. I don't target like professionals because obviously I'm also someone who's learning on like the process. So yeah, so I have to say I am
okay.
a creator. Yeah,
So that's very definite. Like somewhere I agree on the same terms. Like someone who's adding value is
yeah,
definitely a creator. You don't need a content creator tag to become a creator, right? Or
right.
an influencer. Correct. So moving ahead with that, as much as I have known you, right? I understood that you landed in Valist because of writing content online.
Yeah,
Right. So would you like to tell people the story behind that? Like how a person, like let's say I'm a normal, like XYZ person who is just in second year or third year of college. Okay.
hmm,
How should I land jobs in, basically Web3 companies? That is definitely one. And how writing content and various categories are there, right? Like build in public, build in community, XYZ, stealth mode as well,
yeah.
right? So like let's have a proper structure around all of these questions. Okay, let's first go with like how did you land a job in Valist, and then we'll go ahead with these. Okay.
Definitely. Okay, so
Okay.
just going back, like 2021 was like the time because we were hit by pandemic. I was bored and I started my Twitter account and I just created because I wanted to share like what I was learning at that time. And that's how like my Twitter journey started. I am biased towards Twitter because Twitter has given me a lot of things. Okay. So I would say like I started creating threads on Twitter, posting content, getting to know people, communicating with them through comments, tweets, and DMs also, like definitely. And that was the time, like September and August, September last year, when Web3 actually started gaining popularity a lot more because Bored Ape Yacht Club came in, NFTs came in, and they sold for like millions and millions of dollars. And everybody started jumping onto the Web3 side of like tech. And that was a time when
Right.
I got really curious, like what was happening, and I started learning about it. And I saw that there are many people who are clueless of like what's going on. So what I decided was, okay, whatever I'm learning, I'm going to share it in a very easy ways, right? Like very easy
Okay.
in terms of threads, in terms of blogs, or whatever I can do. And I started writing
Okay.
content. I started writing content on Twitter threads, on blogs. I started creating my blog. So if you're anyone who is like passionate about writing, you should definitely try blogging, your journey, your everything over there. And if you're someone who loves creating videos, YouTube is your way to go, right? And so I started documenting my journey. I started documenting my progress, my projects, and everything. And one fine day, I guess it was a Web3 article on like a solidity topic. And one fine day, Alec and Zach came across it and they DM'd me, and that's how like I landed up the job. Basically, we connected on Twitter on DMs. Like they texted like, "Hey, we are looking for this," and I was really curious because Valist had like this amazing. I always say this. They always said if you're someone who believes Web3 is greater than just DeFi, you are definitely part of our team. Like you are the best fit. And I always believe this because we should not just be stuck at one thing, right? So that was how I like got scouted. If I have to say, we connected on DMs, we talked about it. So if you are to answer your second question, how one should go about it, learn in public or go in
Right.
public, I would say that I would always say that do whatever you're doing, do it in public, right? So if you are like building a protocol, if you're starting a startup, do it in public. If you're learning something, learn it in public. Why? Because when you do it in public, right, people are going to hold you accountable for what you're doing. So if you're doing 100 days of code or 100 days of Web3, you just go through day 20, right? And like then you stop posting. Maybe not everyone, but at least there will be one person who will be like, hey, what happened to your 100 days of code, 100 days of Web3 kind of stuff. So that is how you're going to feel responsible. When you're doing it like, personally and, privately, you might feel, oh, okay, I'm just going to give up. I'm going to restart. So that just happens. That's just like basic human nature. If someone is not holding you accountable for something, there's a tendency that you might give up, right? So when you do it in
Right,
public,
right.
you're going to be holding account. Like people are going to hold you accountable for whatever you're doing, good or bad. And that's like the time where you share your failures, your success, everything. You should not hesitate. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Like, this brings me to a few questions which, like a normal person would ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, see, whoever is wanting to get into Web3, right? He definitely would want to know if, like, the opportunities are getting in, basic traditional companies, okay?
Yeah.
Are they equivalent to that or not in terms of incentives, in terms of, the whole structure works around, getting opportunities? So what do you think about the, like, do Web3 companies who are getting, like, let's take your position at Valist, right? Okay, if you must definitely have good amount of incentives, X, Y, Z, like whatever the criteria may be, right? So everyone who's wanting to get into Web3 is definitely wanting to go there because somewhere they feel they have a higher amount of incentive structure or how it works, right? So are you open to talk about, like the incentive structure in Web3 companies? Is it different? The culture is different, or the ecosystem is different? Would you want to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. We should talk about it because Web3 always talks about transparency, and this is something we should be transparent about, right? So, when we talk about traditional or like Web2 companies to Web3 companies, so right now, Web3 has a lot of potential and a lot of investors are seeing that, right?
Okay.
Before this bear market came in, many people invested, right? But the bear market was something
Right.
that is like holding back investors right now. But if you're a startup or anyone in Web3 right now, you would know that like if you are a part of a Web3 community, Web3 protocol, you would know that the incentives are good compared to traditional companies. That is like a plus point over there itself. Like that's the reason I would believe like if you want to transfer to Web3 side of things, 50, if like 70% you want to do it for the technology, 30% you want to do it for the incentives. So that's like for sure over there. But when it comes to like the comparison between Web 2 and Web 3, I would definitely say there is more security in Web 2 because those companies aren't going anywhere. But
Okay.
when these bear markets come in Web 3, because everyone is a startup right now, right? We don't know who's going to
Right.
survive, who's not going to survive. Bear markets are literally like the filters in Web 3, which will filter out the startups that are not going to
So
survive.
I feel it's a filter in Web 2 as well.
Yeah.
Because the same happened in 2001 also,
Yeah.
and even 2008, right? So definitely bear markets, like are definitely a filter to understand who is there to actually build and who is there to actually just, scam it out around.
Exactly.
Right. But yeah, I'd like you to continue. Go ahead.
I would just say that yeah, the bear markets are definitely the filters in Web3 because everyone started to like invest in Web3, go all into Web3. Many people came in because of the money, and those are the people who are gonna get
Right.
filtered out with the bear market. And this bear market is some may feel it is bad, but we know like the developers, right? We know that bear market is for building, as we say. So
Right.
you just have to head down and build at this time. And when it comes to and anyone who comes out of this bear market, any protocol is gonna go through like amazing things. All the best protocols come out of bear markets, and I'm pretty sure that after this incentives, people trusting Web3, investors trusting Web3 is gonna grow more. You will get more incentives. But after some point in time, like after 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, Web3 is also going to come down to what Web2 is right now because there are going to be many people coming into the. If I am a startup right now, if we have a startup right now, we are like few number of people. But as we grow and grow,
Correct.
there are going to come more and more people, and the incentives will go down. But right now, like as we say, we are early, so we have the advantages. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
No, that's very definite. That's very definite. Like somewhere there's always a an exponential hike to a new industry. Okay, and then it comes to a saturation point. Okay,
Hmm.
which I feel we might enter probably 10 to 15 years from now,
Yeah.
or even it might evolve then as well. Right. See, Web 2 and Web 3 are just terms to make it like sound fancy,
Yeah.
right? It's no such difference if you look from a developer's perspective. It's just that your stack has changed. Like
Yeah.
earlier you were learning in English, now you're learning in Hindi. It's all
Yeah.
about that only. Okay, because but the similarities are different. If you're building a funnel from X place to Y place in Web 2, you'll do the same in Web 3 as well. It's just that the structure has changed. The way you look at it has changed. So definitely, I somewhere agree on similar terms, right? It is definitely a very new industry to cope in, okay, and it has just started its exponential growth because more and more people have come here to now build more rather than just earn money and just fly off. Correct. So with that, I have a question. Why do you think that Web three or companies who are entering Web three, why are they all these communities? Why are all these companies all about communities? Like, why is Web three about community? Why is that?
Yeah, so there was this tweet on Twitter recently that said Web3 puts the power in the hands of communities rather than corporates, right? So it's basically
Okay.
that means that in Web 2 we were building. In Web 1 was everything like the companies putting the content out and you are just seeing it, right? Web 2 was like you get the users' content and you use it, right? You were targeting the
Okay.
users, so users were actually your I don't want to say, but it's like they were like their product at the end of the day. You were targeting them. But now in
Correct.
Web3,
Correct.
but now in Web3, even though we are targeting the users, we want them to use our product, but we also want them, to get rewarded for that. We just don't want like just come and just use our product. We also want like, hey, you can use our product, you can get this premium things, you can get the NFTs, you can hold on to it, you can get your, you can have our tokens. And getting the feedback from users is so important in any product. I mean, it's just not Web3, it's even Web3. You need the feedback.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So it's like so main thing this Web3 is more about communities because we believe that it should be the give and take kind of thing. It should not just be take kind of thing. It should be give and take. If you are giving us your time in using our product and everything, it should definitely be we give you something back. So at Valist, if I have to say, we have this platform where you can publish your games and apps and everything. But so if you're an indie developer, right, and right now you will post your games, publish your games on places like Steam. But what they do is they will go through some high amount of fees. Even if your game does well, they will take 30% of that for like as fees for them, for the Steam itself, right? But we don't believe in them. We are like, hey, if you're an indie dev, come to our platform, publish on our platform freely. And then we get like the 22.5% of the public good funding, and we can utilize as a
Excuse me.
bless you, bless you. You can utilize it as like a public good funding and as a treasury for any indie game devs, and we can give them micro grants to help them build their product and everything like that. So it's not just just like taking from them. It's just like give and take. We believe in you, just so come to our platform, use it, something like that.
So, like you mentioned that Web three is about communities and not corporate, right?
Yeah.
So what if there's a community of corporates? What about that?
Well, if it is the community of corporates, I don't know how to put that. Like the definitely here again, the power is not with one corporate, even if there are like group of corporate people. The power is not with one
Right.
person who can handle like what's going on. So that's definitely the power is distributed. Like the power is decentralized over there too, right? The power is not like with one person. So if something happens, they will have the power to vote out people over there and do all those kind of
Okay.
things. So like even if it is a community of corporates, there will be some pretty bad things, something like that, in their political kind of way. But when it comes to like power distribution, it definitely is not just like one person standing kind of thing. It's distributed over there too. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that sounds pretty, like understanding. Okay,
Mhm.
so accordingly, what I have seen, everyone talks about a term called crypto Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so what I have understood is definitely everyone wants to build a community in Web3 because it is about the people. Okay, because people
Mhm.
are enforcing that, maybe manifesting that Web3 is about communities. Where communities are people, something like that. But why Twitter? Like, do you have you been in the industry for almost a while now? What do you think? Why it has only been around Twitter and not other platforms?
Well, if I have to say, first of all, Twitter, I would say Twitter and Reddit are actually like the main things. If you have to say, Reddit is not talked about that much, but when it comes to Twitter, Twitter's algorithm is like when you come to your homepage, you don't just see the people you follow tweets, right? You see tweets
Okay,
of people all over the world, and it's the algorithm is like that. If you like something related to crypto or Web3, you will see more tweets about that. And that's like how your knowledge increases. And I guess that's how people get to know more people. That's how your community gets to
okay.
know another community, right? And that's how, one plus one makes so many people. So if I met you on Twitter, I'll be like, hey, Laksha, I liked your tweet. Let's catch up on DM. And that's how we connect. And then if I like your tweet, I will
Did
see
you like
someone.
my tweet?
I did. I see your tweet. I follow you. I follow
Yeah,
you.
this is a joke. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so exactly. This is like so fun. You just see so many different people here and there. You love their tweet. You just go on DM on their tweet under their tweet and just like, hey, we like this tweet. And even if you don't like a tweet, you can just go under the tweet and say, hey, I did not like your tweet. So it's just like
Wow,
very
okay.
no
Transparent.
no toxic nature over there. No one should be toxic on
It's
social
good
media.
criticism or bad criticism. It's
Yeah,
simple as that.
yeah. No one should
Right.
like hate on someone, but
Exactly.
it's open. Twitter is like open. I would say it's like a big Discord, if I have to say. Twitter is like a big Discord community. There are like lots of people over
Definitely.
there, everyone talking to everyone. Yeah.
Right, right, definitely, definite. Different channels, different servers talking about different communities, different topics. So yeah, definitely. Twitter is like Discord is like what can I say, a lineage from Twitter, right?
Definitely.
Okay, moving ahead with that. Okay, see, definitely all companies are trying to build on Twitter communities. Like build communities on Twitter, engage people. Even DevRels. Most of the DevRels are found on Twitter. Okay,
Mhm.
so as simple as we understand, if a person or if a company wants to grow in Web3 or build a community, Twitter is their go-to model basically, or a go-to place. Correct.
Yeah.
So how does a company, like, what do you think are the basic checkpoints? Okay, which a company or anyone should keep in mind on how can one grow a community on Twitter?
Yeah. So for this particular answer, I would say that you should be real. I mean, it sounds very, same, plain, basic thing, but you should be real. Real in the sense, okay, if I'm a content creator and I'm posting threads around Web3, this, that, great, you're providing knowledge. But when you're just posting technical stuff on Twitter, it might feel like that you are a bot kind of something. Like people don't know who you are personally, right? So when you
Okay.
post different kind of things like, hey, I was at this airport and then this happened, and blah 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 stuff, like anything that related to your personal life, not frequently, but anything related to your frequent life that can be connected to Web3 or anything like that, it just makes your
Okay.
community, your followers, your friends on Twitter make more feel more connected with you. And I've seen this with many people on Twitter who have around 100K followings, more than that followings, that they post what they are doing in real life. Like, I went out for a jog. Jog is good for health. It helps you in, developing, helps you in coding for a long time. And they post their pictures.
Oh
Like
wow.
Twitter is not known for posting pictures a lot, but it is definitely something everyone should do. But when it comes to like a company side of things, this was like for creators. You should like, if you're a creator, you should put out like not all your personal life out, but at least you should make your followers feel connected to you, your community feel connected to you, right? But when it comes to company, again, it's something that the company should be transparent of what they are doing. They should make people understand what they are doing in like basic, simple terms, not using the big jargons. Like, yeah, I like people feel that if they use big technical words, they feel they are going to be like smart and something like that. Doesn't really happen. You should keep it basic, simple, and anything that a beginner can understand. And that's like how a company should approach. a Twitter basically, and after that, come if you're a company's account, you should not feel like it's like a we kind of thing. Have you seen like Netflix and all these big companies how
Hmm.
they post? They're always like, hey, I'm just someone sitting behind Twitter. I'm just one person using the
Right.
Netflix Twitter account. I just feel so personal even at that point, right? It's just like, hey, that's someone we are talking to over there. So it's the same thing. It should not be very technical. It should not be, if you're focusing on community building on Twitter, you should feel like a human over there. You should be a human, not just someone
Right.
who's technical content. Yeah.
Correct. So it revolves around a simple, two-word line. Okay, sorry, two words like structure. It's human connect,
Exactly.
right? Everyone should feel that human connect, and it is, it is a thing which people should follow while understanding their customers as well, or engaging with their customers as well. So when it's not only about Web3, okay, in Web2 as well, when you are taking feedbacks, when you're talking to the customer, okay, there should be a human connect to it. Else, what would that person think? They'll think that it's just a laptop who's talking, or just a mobile phone who's like tweeting, right? If we don't have that human connect, okay, definitely the perishable rate of the customer increases, right? So customers start declining, and same in Web3 as well. If your community feels like a computer is running the community, definitely people would stop, coming to it.
Yeah.
Okay, it will be like something. It should be around building that human connect. Okay, it's understood that it's definitely a company that's running it, but even if you're a person over there, try to get that human connect, because if that's there, that is when you'll understand from a user's perspective what are you thinking or what are you feeling,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, exactly, that's right. So whoever's listening to this, keep in mind human connect is definitely important in any company that you're running, Web2, Web3, communities, whatever you're doing. Human connect is definitely necessary. Okay,
Yeah.
with that, with that, Vanshika, why don't you tell us, has building a personal brand of your own self, like you definitely have a good amount of following on Twitter, right? So that's like you have built your own community over there, correct?
Yeah.
Basically your personal brand. So does it help in spreading the word about a company? Does it help in building the community of the community of the company a little larger? Like, how does it help?
Well, definitely. When you have a good amount of following on any social media platform, not just Twitter, and you talk about a company on your personal Twitter, when you have your personal brand, it definitely helps that company also. But if
Okay.
you're a content creator, it should not just be like, hey, I'm getting paid for this and I'm going to promote it, right? Because your
Okay.
community, your followers look up to you because you are doing something, right? They like your Web3
Right.
content and they believe like, okay, whatever you say is going to be right and something like that. So when you are like, when we promote, or anyone who is like a content creator with a good following, whenever they talk about a company, people like, be it our friends, be it our community, anyone, they will go and check it out. Like, okay, why is she talking about this? Let's go and check it out. And for like, even for 1 second, if they click on the link of the profile, it's just like a win. Like, hey, I created a difference over there, and just like someone is checking it out because I told them, I asked them to, I requested them to.
Right.
So it just feels good at that time, and it definitely helps if you have, if you have the personal brand on Twitter, because people will definitely believe a person than a company. If you know that
Definite.
if that again human connect, right?
Human connect.
Company,
Right. Right.
yeah. Like if you're someone like they know like okay, Vanshika told this, so let's check it out for a reason. Yeah, so that's definitely how it goes about, like how it helps another company. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Vanshika, have you seen Black Mirror?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Hey.
Hey, Vanshika.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. 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 I can. I can.
Yeah.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
sorry if the
So
background
recently, no, that's fine. See, recently what I have been seeing is some companies, what they're doing is they're using a fictional character or some made up character Okay, and they're impersonating them as a, like a person or a living human being. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're running it for marketing purposes. Okay,
Yeah.
it's similar to one of the episodes in Black Mirror called the Waldo movement. Like one particular character, let's take what shall I say, um, okay, Tom from Tom and Jerry. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he is a metaverse fictional character, and he be like, join my community, that sorts, right? So
Yeah.
currently, communities are trying to use a fictional character to run the game around marketing. Okay, what do you think about this? But for building a community,
Well, I believe this is not really relevant in Web3 space. It is very relevant in Web2, if I have to say, like the traditional companies. We have definitely seen it. When it comes to, companies like Netflix and Prime, we have seen whenever a new show launches, they take that character. Like Stranger Things came up and they took the characters and played around with them for marketing purpose, right? But when it comes to Web3, I don't really think this is like the way to go right now for Web3 community companies,
okay,
because it's definitely a good strategy when it comes to marketing and all those kind of stuff. But if your protocol
right,
doesn't really resonate with that character, you cannot. But I would say this is definitely a good idea, because we recently at Valist, we were talking about how, if you've seen Big Bang Theory, there was this episode with Sheldon Cooper where he loses his, possessions of World of Warcraft. So we were just thinking like, hey, if this happened in Web3 and the game was like on Valist or something, he would have never lost it. So it was like just having the ideas, but it's like definitely it's not tried yet in Web3, I would say. Yeah.
okay. That sounds very promising and understanding. Let's move to our next segment. Okay, so what we'll have is we'll have some questions from the community,
Hmm.
which they have worked around, and let's answer that from your perspective. Works. So let's have the
Awesome.
first question from the community. Let's have
Yeah.
that. Okay, what are the different platforms any Web3 company can choose to grow their community?
Well, we talked about this, right? So Twitter is definitely a way to go. And if you're
Okay,
focusing on building your community, Discord is definitely the place that can, bring your community together. Twitter is like really widespread kind of thing that will let your community and other people also know about it. But if you want to do something specific with your community, Discord is the way to go with that. And Reddit is like up and coming, where you discuss different crypto things and all these kind of things. So I would say these three platforms are really good. Yeah.
it's basically like build in public is Twitter, build in community is Discord. If I keep
Yeah,
it simple.
we can say that. Yes, definitely.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Let's go ahead with the next question then. Why building a community is important? Why do you think it is important?
Well, building a community is important because you know what your users, what the people in your community feel like about your product if you are a protocol. But if you're someone like a DAO, basically like Learn Web3 or Build Space, who teaches people about Web3 or anything about that, they will let you know how your teaching style is not good, how it is, how there should be some changes, how people can understand it better. And they can even contribute. When you're a protocol, they can contribute to
Right,
you in feedback form, like how these things should be done in better ways. And then if you're for example, if you're in your Discord and you just come to Valist and you had some problem while using some problem, our product, and you drop it in our Discord channel, if we are not available, definitely from someone from the community who faces a similar problem will jump to your help. And that's how like community helps community, like one helps another. So that's why community is important. And that's like the healthiest way any company can grow, I feel.
okay. That sounds good. That sounds pretty good, right? Because somewhere communities help people grow together. I guess
Yeah,
that's the ideal say which I'll go with. Correct?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
let's go ahead with the next question. What are the current challenges you faced while building the community at Valist?
Well, current challenges that we are facing right now, since we are also start, I guess this is like common for all the startups, not just Valist. And if you're a protocol, the first thing is you need people to try your product, right? And
Okay.
that's and you cannot just be like, hey, come join our community and come join in, just drop in. You should know that people are liking your product. So we made sure that all the feedbacks that we got from our users, the OGs of Valist, all the feedbacks that they provide, what problems they were facing, be it even a small problem like the profile picture was distorted. We got that feedback, we corrected it, and we made it open. Like on our newsletter, we have this section where we put out our bugs and improvements, like what problems we were facing and how we solved it. So it's like definitely like the best part of having a community. We are still new, we are still growing, and we love everyone who helps at Valist, like help us make our product better day by day. So yeah,
How
that's
many
like
members are there in Valist?
right now on the Twitter we have 1,000 followers, 1,000 plus
No, not
followers,
followers, like
and on
members in the
yeah,
sense the core team.
the team members, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So team members, we have three amazing engineers. We have Alec, Zach, you met both of them. And then we have Keenan, amazing, amazing person. We have our creative director, I say kudos to him. He makes amazing UIs. And then we have community manager Moyo and our social media manager Diana and me, myself. So yeah, we are just like 6, 7. We are like the Avengers right now at Valist. So yeah.
Definitely, you guys are the avengers. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go with the next question. What can other companies learn from the strategies Valist use to build its communities?
Well, one thing I would love everyone to use, like that we use, we always make sure that, you know, again, it boils down to community, right? It boils down to anyone who's helping us. So if we make a product and we just launch it, the edge cases are always missed. We just know we are building something. When someone comes and tries it and they found out like, hey, this was a fault I found, this was something I found. I just want that you should always be open to what your community is giving you feedback rather than taking it as like, on your ego, like, hey, how come they are, saying us this like bad about your product. No one is saying bad about your product. They are just giving you
Okay.
feedback on how to improve your product. So always look out for people who are helping you make your product better every day. So yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all it's somewhere around what you can do best for yourself and your community.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Right. Thank you. Yeah, I have got some cold. Okay,
Everyone
moving
does.
ahead with that. Last question. Let's go with that. What's the last
Okay.
question for today? What do you feel are the pillars of community building?
Well, I feel community building, I would say, if you are, again, I would say this from protocol, anyone, right? I guess the team members are like the biggest pillars. First pillar
Okay.
are like the team members, the company, and everyone. Second pillar, I would say the community itself, like the people in your community itself are second biggest pillars. And
Correct.
the third is the product or the platform that you are giving. So I guess
Okay.
there are three main pillars. So when it comes to team, I would say that when you are a team, right, and you create a protocol and you are like on your Discord server and people are coming in asking you questions. And even if you're a CEO or founder, anyone like that, and you're not responding to people, it just gives a bad impression to them. I know communities where they just created a community, people were coming and asking questions, doubts, and no one was responding to them. Right. And
Oh,
I know another community where founders jump to answer the question first, like, hey, here. And it just feel, again, human connect comes over there.
right.
Even at Valist, we just feel, I know, like, if you jump in and like drop a question, we know that,
Excuse me.
let's you again. Alec and Zach will definitely like jump in before any of us can jump in. They will come and like solve
Okay.
your queries. So second is community. Like I would say community. Why? Because the people who are in your community shape your community. So there are
Okay.
people who are like feeling loyal to your community in a sense because you have given them as CEO, as team member, you have given them good, response and everything like that, they will stick around and they will let other people know why you guys are good, right? Why we are good, why we as a protocol are good, how we take the feedback and everything. So second is like the community itself, and the third is the product. If you have amazing community but your product doesn't work around which you're building your community, it's just like doesn't add up. So it's just like, why will people even stick around if that doesn't add up, right? So these three are like the important pillars. Yeah.
It's similar, like, you grow with the people who you're around with, right?
Yeah.
Like, your personality or the way you live, okay, is defined by the top five people who you are around with. So if you're around with
Exactly.
people who want to grow and build, okay, definitely the community also builds them. It's like a, what can I say, a repulsive effect. Like after every ripple, the ripple becomes larger, correct?
Yeah.
So if the core ripple or the core source is, strong and like, very driven towards the goal, definitely the ripples become larger, right?
Definitely. Yeah. That's like the
Definitely.
perfect
Okay,
way to
awesome.
put it. Yeah.
Exactly, awesome. Thank you so much, Vanshika. Um, I hope we don't have any more questions from the community. If there are any more questions, okay, can we have them on the screen? One second. Okay, awesome. Somewhere I guess we have covered almost all positions, understanding. Like we started off with your background, how you jumped from non-tech to tech, and you always were dwelling amongst those things, and then you landed up something where you're doing both. You're doing developer related tasks as well as you're building relations and building the community. So basically that comes to DevRel. Then we came around what communities are, how communities can build, why companies should choose Twitter to grow, why Twitter is a big ecosystem where it's definitely a bigger Discord, excuse me, a Discord. And then what kind of ecosystems can actually help communities thrive, and various verticals we spoke about, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Vanshika, for putting out your thoughts here today while talking to me. And I definitely somewhere connect because I come from. I might not be a DevRel, but I definitely understand what the customer wants and how it has to be changed and understood and then put it through to build a proper product for the community. Correct. So in that
Yeah.
case, I get that human connect with you, like like we spoke about. Correct.
Yeah.
So what do you say about today's session? Like, how do you feel about the flow, how it went, about how we structured it? What do you think about today?
Well, I loved today's session. It was like definitely the points that we should have talked about. As we said, right, there were topics like we had to talk about the transparency, the incentives, and everything.
Right.
So, loved the conversation today. It was amazing, amazing questions, amazing talk again, and no, like this was definitely someone everyone should talk about, not just the technical parts of Web3, but also like the community building, how even the non-technical people can come into Web3. It's just not people filled with developing knowledge in here, right? You just have to come out, chill with everyone, hang out with everyone, and you learn many things. Yeah, definitely. So great.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. That's super great. Manchika, would you like to also tell, how you felt about the process while working with Recorem? Because see, this is almost our third episode together with Valist, right? So I'd like to know what is your perspective on how your experience was with Recorem, and what do you think about, Recorem? How are we growing together? How can we grow together? Like anything on those grounds?
Well, I would say like we connected first, and we've been talking for almost like a month now. We've connected for a month, and
Okay.
it was so great to talk to like Recorem team. I love what you guys are doing. It's so unique. It's so different. Like how like under my session when we're talking about communities, you can even get hired, right? You can take the knowledge from this
Right.
session and you can use it like for your future interviews kind of stuff. So it's definitely so unique, so amazing, and I love what you guys are doing at Recorem, and definitely hope like for the best for you guys. And when it comes to Recorem and Valist, like we definitely see a lot of collaborations in future. I can say that for
Definitely,
sure.
definitely.
Not spoiling anything for now. We have to discuss a lot of things right now, right? But
Right, right.
amazing session, amazing platform. The process itself was so amazing, so great. Like you, Vignesh, everyone who I've talked with from Recorem is so amazing. Like so welcoming. I would say. So it's like
Okay.
really great. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing. I had this similar, pager of vibes and thoughts for the whole Valist team as well, because I've connected with you, Alex, Zach. We've had conversations not only around work but across various domains.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
and that is where I feel we do not connect as corporates, or maybe I wouldn't term it as corporates because I don't know, someone might come and shoot a missile at me. Okay, so let's give it the term like traditional professionals. Okay,
Yeah.
so accordingly, somewhere there is a personal connect always with the team of Valist, and I definitely love to work with like-minded people. So yeah, that's where we go in.
Yeah, definitely. It's the human connect again.
Exactly, like we
Yeah.
said. Okay, thank you so much, Vanshika, for chiming in
Thank
today,
you
for
so
joining us
much.
today. Let's connect soon. Maybe we whatever we are planning on backstage, we'll definitely bring it forward to people again together. Maybe in a few months, and let's hope for the best. Okay, it was nice, awesome talking to you today,
Yeah.
Vanshika. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts?
No, just hope like everyone try out Recorem. Like you will get the best jobs over here. I can definitely, and you have amazing sessions. You can get knowledge from here. So definitely try it. Yeah. Have a great one, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Vanshika. Thank you for joining in.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so we are at the end of our masterclass, and I hope you guys definitely learned a great amount from Vanshika around Web3 communities, around building in Web3, how you can enter into Web3, what is built in public, what is built in community, all of that. And today, I really hope today was a very informative yet very interacting and fun session. And I'm sure each one of you have a unique understanding of how to run communities in Web3, and not even in Web3, your own customers as well. So definitely, like I said earlier, okay, if you're streaming it from any other platform, like be YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, hop onto the Recorem website now, drop in your wallet addresses in the discussion room, and take back a unique memory from today. I'll repeat it again. We'll have a plethora of 200 plus jobs running live listed on this particular event, to which you can apply and get like apply and get listed, right? So go onto the Recorem website right now, log in, apply for jobs, get your NFT minted certificates by dropping wallet addresses, and have fun. Okay, I hope this was a smooth and pleasant experience for all of you, and was definitely great at Recorem for interacting with all of you folks at Valist as well as the whole community. We are open to more speakers and more feedback from you guys to how we can make our product better, our community run better, and what more can we bring to offer value to you, plus bring in more companies, more speakers to talk about various other topics, and bring in more jobs for you as well. This is Laksh Mittal, and with a happy note and informative learning from Vanchika and the Valist team today, I'm signing off. Thank you.